I'd be the king of the town, but
Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why there's such a disparity even between the prices for gasoline in Anchorage versus Valdez. So it's a huge disparity and a huge problem.
Lafette, let's get you in here. We haven't heard from you yet. Let's get you involved in the conversation. We live in Anchorage, the big city, and yet we also kind of face an uncertain future when it comes to energy prices as well, don't we?
Yeah, no, I think, well, I know that we do. And it's not just Alaska. The nation as a whole faces energy crisis. And it definitely seems to boil down to a supply and demand issue. But we have the supply, so the question that we have to ask is, why are those energy costs so much more high for us, which translates over to our cost of living, cost of food. And I think all of the questions that we're asking here today kind of boils into the original question, the topic of our youth, be it about the disrespect or anything. I think it's a misconception to say that oil and gas would be our number one resource or developable resource in Alaska. I think the number one resource that we have a chance to mold and develop would be our youth, so that we can get a better control over our second resource, oil and gas, so that we can better develop solutions to the problem that we have as to why our oil and gas problems are so high, why crime is so high. And if we start there, if we start with the education and fortification of that resource, of our youth, of our community, then we can go on to possibly solve those bigger questions. I don't have the solution as to how we go ahead and turn those prices down, but I think it's a good start with our youth.
Yeah. Susan, you've got, well, Frank, I'll tell you what, Frank, we'll go up to you. You had your hand up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Steve, I think one of the things that I think we need more assistance from the federal government and the state government on for alternative energy type programs. We have all these resources in Alaska, but they doesn't seem like these resources we have are getting out, especially to rural Alaska. The price of gas in Alaska, and we're in an ice-free port that they can get to all year round, is $5 a gallon. Price of diesel is over $4 a gallon. We have the largest fishing fleet in the state that works out of Unalaska and generates millions of dollars of tax dollars back to the state. But we're not seeing any programs like that. We have individual companies and possibly the city that are looking to purchase LNG maybe from Canada and bring it up somehow so we can run our diesel engines that run the fish plants and the city's powerhouse possibly on LNG, because the price of diesel is killing us. And that translates to the cost of air transportation. Unalaska is either by a ferry boat 4 or 5 months a year, or air cost. To be on your show today, I probably broke your budget. It's over $1,000. Over $1,000, and that puts a real strain on a family when you want to leave, go on a vacation with your community, or you need to travel for medical and things like that. To have this huge cost up front that you have to deal with it's really an issue for many families.
All right.
And so to solve some problems, you look at other areas that are doing things right. Why is the price of energy lower in Kenai than it is in Alaska or Valdez? I think part of it's the infrastructure. You don't have infrastructure going to these smaller communities. You don't have Valdez or the North Slope making the LNG and getting it out to Unalaska. We're going to have to buy it from Canada, and it's just crazy to me that we have all of the natural resources, all of the human resources, yet we can't seem to put that together. So you have to look at Kenai and now Homer, who's getting natural gas, but there's not natural gas down into Fairbanks.
Fairbanks, no.
Yeah, there's not natural gas down in Valdez. We haven't built the infrastructure to do that. So whenever you're looking at problems, whether it's the kids' problems or the utility problems, look at communities that are doing well at that, and then don't try to solve a problem. Look, see how somebody else has already solved it, and that's what I would suggest. We need more infrastructure. We need to get the resources to the Alaskans.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more One Alaska. But we've also been hearing some folks online, and we want to share one of their comments with you as we go to break. Well, the man who made the longest trek to be with us today is Frank Kelty. He hails from Unalaska. Let's head out there now.
I think, you know, when people hear the name Unalaska, they, boy, what a strange name that is. But, you know, I always tell them that Unalaska is unlike any other place that you're going to find in Alaska. We have weather extremes of all kinds, weather, wind, rain, snow, but it's a very beautiful place. We also have the #1 fishing port in the nation. For fisheries has been a very important part of the community. The sustainability is a big important thing, and it's Unalaska's main industry, and it impacts so many sectors of our industry. We still have needs. We still need more road paving. It's very expensive to do projects out here. We have to finish up some wastewater and landfill issues that are very costly. We need more work on ports and harbors. We have very limited ferry service. So it's very difficult and expensive to travel out to this area. We're also facing a major housing shortage in the community, and it's very expensive to build a house here. But I think transportation issues are our main one, and it covers the whole scope. Well, when I first arrived here in 1970, we had 400 people, mostly on the Unalaska Island side, and a few industrial type folks on the Mackinac Island, which is sometimes called Dutch Harbor. But we're up to 4,300 now full time, and during the peak fishing seasons, we probably have upwards to 6,000 to 7,000 total that are seasonal workers that are on the ships passing through town or in town for 2 or 3 months at a time. So it's a busy place. It's an exciting place, but the quality of life in this community is great. It's a great place for families now. We have many of the residents that started out as seasonal now make their homes here and have invested in homes, so it's a great place to live.
And as we told you earlier, we've been hearing from folks online. We've got this comment to show and share with you. We've heard from an online viewer about some of the challenges they face in their own communities. This is a viewer from Kaktovik that writes, it's challenging just to travel to and from there, close to $1,000 via Era Airlines. And Frank, that was an issue that you raised earlier in the program. It costs about $1,100 to get you here from Unalaska. And it's got to be an issue for all of us Alaskans, obviously. It's very expensive to get out of town. Lafayette, even from out of Anchorage, isn't it? It's expensive here.
Glen Highway.
That's true.
It's costly.
Yeah, yeah. Problem for you too, Jojo? We haven't heard from you for a while. Is it tough to get out of Bethel?
From the Bethel area, it costs a lot of money. They blame it on fuel, and it costs about $1,000 from families to get from the villages to Hub Bethel, then hop on an Alaska Jet or Era prop plane to come to Anchorage, and it can get expensive.
Yeah. Obviously, we have such a far-flung state. We're spread over so many miles. That's one of the things that we have to deal with if we're going to live here, right? I mean, isn't that true, Marjorie? I mean, if we're going to live in Nome, we have to accept that in some regards.
Yeah, it's just the landscape we choose to live in, and you know, we don't have roads going out of Nome, so the only way to get to other places is by boat or flying, or when it's winter, snow machine. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, Susan, we're obviously all connected by a road from the Kenai to Anchorage, but any solutions there from where you sit in terms of bringing down the high cost of transportation, including airline flights?
Well, I feel a little bit reluctant because we can drive to Anchorage or we can fly to Anchorage and find that flying from Anchorage to somewhere else is really not a bad deal. But when we wanted to go back to Bethel area to visit, when we moved, we found out that going to smaller places is where the huge challenge is. So that's fuel, that's supply and demand, that's all those airline things that I don't have a clue that, because they don't make sense per mile.
Yeah.
Because I only live 59 miles from here.
Yeah, yeah.
As the crow flies.
As the crow flies, great. Thanks very much.
It's a never-ending battle a lot of it has to do with facilities. It's so costly to build a project to improve an airport or to improve a port so you can get ferries in. That was what we just went through a crisis this summer in Southwest Alaska with the Tuscaloosa being out of service for months. We had the Kennecott came once the whole summer, so that stopped a lot of the birders. People were forced to take the airplane. It stopped a lot of the tourists that wanted to come out, enjoy that summertime cruise down the chain and across Unimac Pass. So, I think the state's facing a crisis with some of their equipment. So that also needs to be addressed. But the cost to doing road projects and airport improvement projects are really a major deal in rural Alaska.
Yeah, I think we look at these, like the marine highway, airlines, roads, they're transportation links, but they're also economic links too, so for so many communities. We've got one more person that we want to introduce you to in some depth. You've heard some of his comments already. Lafette Knox is our hometown man. He is here from the Anchorage area, resides in the in the Eagle River Chugach area.
Quite frankly, there's no place really better to live than Alaska. My family, from a young age, for me, moved or relocated from Chicago to Alaska. My father was military, and this was our first and our last assignment. I thought it was different, substantially different from Chicago. My cousins told me that I'd be living in an igloo. Moved to Eagle River in '96, and I've lived in Eagle River, Chugach, Anchorage area, outside of college where we left to go to Washington ever since. We love the people, we love the area, regardless of how cold it is. The summers tend to make up for the frigid cold. The opportunity that's prevalent in Alaska from a business standpoint, a commerce standpoint, is tremendous. And it's hard to turn away from that, particularly with the economic downfall that we've seen in the last 4 to 5 years. Alaska didn't feel the effects of that in the same way that the Midwest or the East Coast did. And there's so much more opportunity to build around the strengths that we already have. The challenge is ensuring that we don't overlook the gifts on the horizon for the gifts that we have today. And that's kind of my bigger fear that a lot of Alaskans might fall to. So the worst part about living in the Anchorage area, it may teeter in the same, like in the positive aspects. While we have a pretty good, a booming economy almost, and a lot of opportunity to grow, we're cut off to a certain extent from some of the other opportunities that places in the States might have, entertainment being the one that comes to mind. But that has changed a great deal since I've moved here when I was younger. Anchorage has the benefit of, in my opinion, on having, the best of both worlds. I have the luxury of being able to work in a fully developed, functional city, but like this afternoon, my wife and I are going to go trek up a mountain. We can go back probably a little bit further and go find snow or go fish. I think these aspects, these unique combinations that Anchorage has to offer, makes it the hub, the focal point of Alaska, and it's such an enjoyable place to live. Having kids, starting a family, connects you automatically in a way to a community more than you ever will in any other state in your life, for the simple fact that you now have roots to a certain degree, and you're far more invested into your community members. Because those people are now going to be influencing your children, regardless of whether or not you want them to, regardless of all the prepping that you do, and all the community activities. Those influence you, your family, and your children. So at this stage of my life, I feel far more invested in Alaska, the Alaskan experience, and the Alaskan economy than I ever have before.
And Lafette, I have to agree with you. The Anchorage is the perfect city, just so you can be in the city and you can be someplace